The small town of Pineville had never seen anything like it before. The night sky lit up with strange colors as something massive broke through the clouds. Amanda Peters stood on her porch watching with wide eyes. Her long brown hair blew in the sudden wind that came from nowhere. The thing in the sky was not a plane or helicopter. It was round and flat like a giant disc with lights all around. The Edge Amanda was alone that night. Her neighbors were all at the town meeting to discuss the new road, but she had stayed home with a headache. Now she wished she had gone with them as fear made her heart beat faster. The flying disc came closer and closer until it hovered right above her small house. A beam of bright white light shot down. From the center of the disc, hitting the ground in front of her house, Amanda wanted to run inside and lock the door, but her legs would not move. The light seemed to pull at her, making her skin tingle, and her hair stand on end. Then, without warning, she felt her feet leave the ground. She tried to scream, but no sound came out as she floated up into the light. The world around her faded away and everything went black. When Amanda opened her eyes, she was lying on a smooth table in a room with walls that glowed soft blue. The air smelled clean like nothing she had ever smelled before, almost like rain, but sweeter. She tried to sit up, but something held her down. Do not be afraid. A voice said inside her head. Amanda turned to see who had spoken, and gasped. Standing beside the table was the strangest woman she had ever seen. She was tall, much taller than any human woman, with skin that shimmered like pearls. Her eyes were huge and completely black, without any white parts. Her head was slightly too big for her body, and she had no hair. Her fingers were very long, with one extra finger on each hand. "I am Nyla," the alien woman said, still not moving her small mouth. The words just appeared in Amanda's mind. "We have been watching your planet for many years." "Why am I here?" Amanda asked, finding her voice at last. Her fear was still there, but curiosity was growing stronger. "You are special," Nyla said. Another alien woman came into the room. This one had the same pearly skin, but with a blue tint. She was shorter than Nyla. "This is Vela," my sister Neela explained. "We need your help, Amanda Peters." "How do you know my name?" Amanda asked. "And what do you mean you need my help?" The aliens looked at each other, then back at Amanda. Whatever had been holding her down was gone now, and she sat up slowly. The table was the only furniture in the round room. There were no doors that she could see, just smooth, glowing walls. "Your planet is in danger," Vela said. Her voice in Amanda's mind was softer, more musical than Neela's. "We detected a problem that your people do not know about yet. A large rock from space is coming toward Earth. It will hit in 30 days, causing great damage. We want to help stop it." Amanda shook her head, trying to make sense of what she was hearing. "Why tell me?" she asked. "I'm nobody special. I'm just a teacher at the elementary school." Nyla moved closer. "Human scientists have been tracking this object," she said. "But they have made a mistake in their calculations. They think it will miss Earth. We tried to send messages to your leaders, but they do not listen or understand. We need a human to help us communicate." "But why me?" Amanda asked again. "Because your brain patterns are compatible with our technology," Vela explained. "We can connect with your mind easily. Something in your genetic structure makes this possible. We have been searching for someone like you for months." Amanda looked around the strange room, trying to decide if this was real or some crazy dream. The aliens waited, patiently watching her with those big black eyes. "If what you're saying is true," Amanda said slowly, "then we need to warn everyone." "Yes," Nyla agreed. "But first, we must show you proof." She waved one long hand, and part of the wall changed, becoming clear, like a window. Amanda gasped as she saw Earth below them, small and blue and beautiful. They were in space, far from home. "Do you believe us now?" Vela asked. Amanda nodded slowly. "I believe you," she said. "What do we do?" The aliens took Amanda to another room. This one was much larger, filled with strange machines and screens. Several more of the alien women were working there. They all looked up when Amanda entered, some showing surprise in their large eyes. "This is Kira," Nyla said, introducing a smaller alien with greenish skin. "She is our science leader." Kira came forward, studying Amanda with interest. "We will teach you how to use our technology," she said, "so you can help us send the right message to your scientists." Over the next few hours, Amanda learned that the aliens called themselves the Lumina. They were all female, as males of their species were very rare. They had been exploring the galaxy for thousands of years, studying other worlds and species but rarely making contact. The Lumina showed Amanda images of the asteroid that was heading toward Earth. It was much bigger than she had imagined, large enough to cause terrible damage if it hit. According to their calculations, it would strike the Pacific Ocean, creating giant waves that would destroy coastal cities around the world. "We can help stop it," Kira explained, "but we need your scientists to aim their deflection missiles at the correct coordinates. Our calculations are more accurate." Amanda felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. Millions of lives might depend on whether she could convince people to listen to her. This was so much bigger than her small life in Pineville, but somehow she knew she had to try. "Can you take me back?" Amanda asked. "I need to talk to people who can help." Bella shook her head. "It is not so simple," she said. "Your government leaders would not believe you. They would think you were confused or lying. We must give you proof and teach you how to use a special device that will show them the truth." Amanda spent the next day learning about the Lumina and their technology. She discovered that they had visited Earth many times throughout history, sometimes being seen and creating stories of angels or gods they had watched. Humans developed from simple tribes to complex societies. They showed her the device they had created. It looked like a small silver disc that could project three-dimensional images and data. It contained all their calculations about the asteroid and could translate between their language and any human language. "They are ready for you now," Nyla said as the second day began. Amanda had slept in a comfortable room that adjusted to her body temperature and played soft sounds like ocean waves to help her rest. "Ready for what Amanda asked, to make you our official messenger," Vela explained. "The Lumina Council wishes to speak with you." Amanda followed the aliens through curving hallways to a large circular chamber. Inside, several Lumina sat in a semicircle on raised seats. They all had the pearly skin, but in different shades from almost white to deep blue. The one in the center seat was oldest looking, with lines on her face that might have been wrinkles. "Welcome, human," the elder said. Her mental voice was strong and clear. "I am Alaya, leader of this exploration vessel. We have chosen you for an important task." 5 years passed since the meeting with the Drath Earth had changed in ways both expected and surprising. The sun continued its unusual activity, causing shifts in climate and weather. But humanity had been prepared, thanks to the knowledge shared. By the 7 women, most of the worst effects had been avoided. Amanda now worked full-time, coordinating the education programs that taught people how to adapt to the changing world. She no longer taught 3rd grade, but she still visited schools, speaking to children about the future. Her simple explanations of complex problems made her popular with teachers and students alike. The 7 women remained connected both by their shared experience and by the communication devices the Lumina had given them. They met regularly, discussing developments and adjusting their plans. They had told the world leaders about the Drath visit and the larger conflict between alien species. Most officials had chosen to keep this information secret, fearing public panic. One spring morning, Amanda woke to the sound of her communication device activating. It was Catherine, the eldest of the 7. "We need to meet," she said. "All of us today. Something has happened." 6 hours later, the 7 women gathered at Catherine's home in the countryside, a place they had used for meetings before, secure and private. Catherine looked worried as she welcomed them. "What is it?" Nancy asked as they settled in the living room. Catherine activated her silver disc, and a holographic image appeared. It showed Earth from space, surrounded by small dots that Amanda recognized as satellites. But there were many more than before. "The Lumina satellites are multiplying," Kelly said, leaning forward to study the image. "I count over 50 now. There were only 7 when they left, and they are not alone," Catherine said. "Look." She adjusted the image, and new dots appeared in different colors, Drath satellites. Gloria asked. Yes, Catherine confirmed, and others I don't recognize there. Are at least 4 different types of alien technology now orbiting our planet. All of them watching us. The women exchanged concerned looks. What does it mean? Michelle asked. I think word has spread. Ella said, Earth is now known to other species beyond, the Lumina and Drath. We have become interesting to them. Interesting could be dangerous, Nancy pointed out. Her military background made her cautious. We need to know more about these new observers, as if in response to her words. Catherine's disc activated. Again a hologram of Nyla appeared. The Lumina scientist looked concerned. We have detected increased activity around your planet, she said, without consultation. Both the Drath and the Vorn have placed observation platforms in orbit. The Zelki have sent a scout ship that remains hidden behind your moon. This attention is not good for Earth. Who are these other species? Amanda asked. Why are they interested in us? The Vorn are traders, Nyla explained. They seek resources and technology. They will offer exchanges that seem beneficial but usually favor them. The Zelki are more dangerous. They collect species, studying them often through capture and experimentation. That sounds terrible, Michelle said. What should we do? Nyla looked at each of them. We would not normally suggest this, she said. But given the circumstances, we believe Earth should accept our protection. A formal alliance would keep these other species away. The 7 women looked at each other, remembering the Drath's warning that the Lumina would eventually seek alliance. Was this the moment they had predicted? Before they could respond, another signal came through. A Drath hologram appeared beside Nyla's. The 2 aliens regarded each other with what seemed like hostility. The Lumina speak of protection, the Drath said. But they offer chains. They would make Earth a client world bound to their rules. We offer partnership, equal standing. Your species has strength, potential for greatness. Why hide behind Lumina shields when you could stand as warriors? Nyla turned to face the Drath. You speak of partnership, she said. But the Drath consume worlds. They take resources. They draft populations into their armies. Earth would become another conquest, as the aliens argued. Catherine raised her hand for silence. Both of you, she said. We appreciate your warnings, but we have already stated our position. Earth remains independent. Both holograms turned toward her. That may no longer be possible, Nyla said softly. Other species are coming, some less patient than the Lumina or even the Drath. The galaxy has noticed you, the Drath added. Soon ships will come, not just satellites. You must choose allies or face the void alone. With that, both holograms vanished, leaving the 7 women to consider this new information. We need to tell the world leaders, Nancy said immediately. This is too big for just us to handle. Kelly nodded. But how much do we tell them, she asked. If we reveal everything about all these alien species watching us, there could be panic. We tell them the truth, Amanda said simply. All of it. People deserve to know what's happening. We can present it carefully, but no more secrets. For the next week, the 7 women worked with government officials from major nations. The evidence was clear and undeniable. Earth was being observed by multiple alien civilizations. Some had already made contact. Others were just watching. The world needed to prepare. A special session of the United Nations was called. Leaders from every country attended, some in person, others through secure video links. Amanda and the other 6 women presented what they knew, sharing the warnings from both the Lumina and the Drath. The debate that followed was heated. Some nations wanted to ally with the Lumina, seeking their protection. Others preferred the strength offered by the Drath. Many wanted to maintain independence, avoiding any commitments to alien species. A few even suggested trying to hide, ignoring the situation and hoping it would resolve itself in the end. No agreement was reached. Nations would make their own choices, each seeing the situation through their own lens of history, culture, and politics. This is what I feared, Catherine said as the 7 women left the UN building. Unity was our strength. Division makes us vulnerable. We can't force everyone to agree. Nancy reminded her that's not how humans work. Perhaps that's our real strength, Amanda suggested. Not that we all think alike, but that we think differently. We find many solutions. Not just one. Before anyone could respond, the sky above them darkened. A massive shadow fell over the city. People in the street stopped and looked up, pointing and shouting. A ship larger than any they had seen before hovered above them. Not Lumina, not Drath. Something else. The 7 women's communication devices activated simultaneously. A new hologram appeared before them, an alien unlike any they had met. Its body was long and serpentine with multiple limbs. Its head was narrow, with 3 eyes, arranged in a triangle. "We are the Zelki," the alien said. "Your world has been selected for study. Resistance is unnecessary and inefficient." People around them were running now, some in panic, others stopping to take pictures or videos of the massive ship and the hologram. The world was seeing firsthand what the 7 women had tried to explain. "What kind of study?" Michelle asked, keeping her voice steady. Despite her fear, "All aspects of your species will be catalogued," the Zelki replied. "Selected. Specimens will be collected for detailed analysis. This process is beneficial. It adds your biological and cultural distinctiveness to our knowledge." "By specimens, you mean people," Amanda said. "You want to take humans for experiments." "The term experiments is imprecise," the Zelki said. "We observe, we learn, we preserve. The subjects rarely survive, but their contribution to knowledge is eternal." Anger replaced Amanda's fear. "No," she said firmly. "You cannot take people from Earth against their will. We do not consent to your study. Consent is irrelevant," the Zelki replied. "The study will proceed." As it spoke, smaller ships began to descend from the larger vessel. They looked like metallic pods, smooth and featureless. They landed in streets and parks throughout the city. Their sides opened and strange creatures emerged. They walked on 4 legs with bodies covered in plates like armor. They moved quickly, surrounding groups of frightened humans. The 7 women watched in horror as people were herded toward the pods. Some fought back, but the alien collectors were strong and fast. Police arrived firing weapons, but the bullets seemed to have little effect on the armored creatures. "We have to do something," Ella said. "We can't let this happen." Nancy pulled a phone from her pocket. "Military forces are responding," she reported, "but they need time to mobilize." Amanda looked at her silver disc, remembering what Ilya had told them years ago. The satellites the Lumina had placed in orbit were not just for communication. They had other functions. The knowledge was there in the disc if she could access it, while the others tried to help people escape. Amanda activated her disc, searching through the information it contained. There. It was a defense protocol. Something the Lumina had included but never mentioned a way to protect Earth in an emergency. Amanda entered the commands. The disc glowed brighter than before. Then the other 6 discs activated as well, connecting to each other and to the 7 Lumina satellites. "Orbiting Earth? What did you do?" Catherine asked, watching as Amanda's disc projected a new hologram showing the satellites realigning. "I activated a defense system." Amanda said the Lumina included it just in case, something they called the shield above. Then the 7 Lumina satellites began to pulse with blue light. Energy beams connected them, forming a network that spread to cover the entire planet. The Zelki ships seemed to freeze in place, their systems disrupted by the energy field. The hologram of the Zelki leader flickered. "This intervention is unexpected," it said. "You have protection. We will withdraw for now and reconsider." Amanda looked around at the 6 strangers who sat in the circle. Each person was different in age and appearance, but they all had the same look in their eyes, a mixture of wonder and determination. "Let me introduce you," Nyla said, as Amanda took the empty seat. A woman with dark skin and short black hair sat to her right. "This is Ella Brown." She was chosen for her knowledge of Earth's oceans. Ella nodded to Amanda. "I was a marine biologist before the Lumina found me." She said, "I was studying coral reefs when their ship appeared underwater. It was 3 years ago." Next to Ella was an older woman with gray hair pulled back in a tight bun. I am Gloria Martinez, she said before Nyla could introduce her. I work with plant genetics. The Lumina showed me how certain plants can be modified to survive the coming climate changes. A young woman with red hair and freckles waved from across the circle. I'm Kelly Woods, she said. I'm a computer expert. The aliens gave me knowledge about new energy systems that don't pollute. Beside Kelly sat a woman with Asian features and long black hair. My name is Michelle Lee, she said quietly. I am a doctor. The Lumina taught me about medicines that can be made from common plants. Some will help with the new diseases that will come when the climate changes. The fifth person was a middle-aged woman with blonde hair cut short. She wore a military uniform. My name is Nancy Porter. She said I work for the government in emergency planning. The Lumina showed me what areas will flood when the oceans rise. The last member of the group was an elderly woman with kind eyes and silver hair. She smiled warmly at Amanda. I'm Catherine Wilson. She said I was a teacher like you, but I'm retired now. My job is to help the others, work together as a team. I was the first human the Lumina contacted many years ago. Amanda looked around the circle, amazed that these women had all shared experiences similar to hers. Have you all been helping Earth in secret? She asked. Yes, Catherine answered. We each work in our own areas using the knowledge the Lumina have given us, but until now we have worked separately. This is the first time all 7 of us have been brought together. Nyla stepped into the center of the circle. The time for working separately is over, she said. The changes to your sun will begin soon. Your world must prepare together, not as separate nations. The 7 of you will guide this process. Vela joined her sister. Each of you has a piece of the knowledge needed, she explained. Together you have the complete picture. Amanda felt overwhelmed. How can 7 people change the whole world, she asked. Catherine smiled at her. We don't have to change the world ourselves, she said. We just have to share the knowledge with the right people and help them understand what needs to be done. We are like seeds planted in different gardens. The Lumina showed the group images of what would happen to Earth in the coming years. The sun would enter a phase where its energy output would change. This would cause Earth's climate to shift rapidly. Seas would rise, temperatures would change rapidly, and many species would be threatened. But it will not be the end, Vela assured them. If humans work together and use the knowledge I have given you, your civilization can survive and even grow stronger. For the next 3 days, the 7 women stayed on the Lumina ship, learning from each other and the aliens. Each had been given different information and technology. Amanda shared what she knew about the asteroid, while Ella explained about protecting ocean life. Michelle described new medical treatments, and Kelly talked about clean energy systems. Gloria showed how certain plants could be modified to grow in changing conditions. Nancy, who worked in government, explained the political challenges they would face. No country wants to admit they need help from others, she said. And most leaders think only about the next election, not the next century. Catherine, who had been working with the Lumina longest, helped them develop a plan. First, they would gather evidence of the coming changes using the alien technology. Then they would approach scientific organizations in different countries, showing them the evidence. Finally, they would help coordinate an international response. By the time the Lumina prepared to return them to Earth, the 7 women had formed a strong bond. They would stay in contact using special communication devices. The aliens provided devices that could not be tracked or monitored by any Earth technology. Before they left, Elia the Elder came to speak with them one last time. The Council has decided to give you one more gift, she said. We will place 7 small satellites in orbit around your planet. They will help monitor the changes and will allow you to communicate with us if needed. They are designed to look like space debris, so your governments will not notice them. Thank you, Amanda said, speaking for the group. But I still have one question. Why us? Why did you choose humans for this task instead of just handling it yourselves? Elia smiled, a gesture she had learned from studying humans. Your species has great potential, she said. You feel deeply. You care for each other and your world. In many ways, you remind us of ourselves when we were young. We believe you deserve the chance to save yourselves. And we believe you can do it with just a little help. The 7 women were returned to their homes, each with new knowledge and purpose. Amanda found herself back on her porch as if no time had passed. But this time she knew she was not alone. There were 6 others like her working toward the same goal. The next morning, Amanda called Dr. Wright. She had kept in touch with the scientist since the asteroid incident but had not shared everything she knew. Now it was time for complete honesty. "I need to meet with you," Susan Amanda said into the phone. There's more to the story, a lot more. Dr. Wright agreed to meet her that weekend at her university office. Amanda showed her the new information the Lumina had provided about the coming solar changes. Dr. Wright examined the data with growing concern. "This is incredible," she said, looking up from the projections. "If this is accurate, we have maybe 5 years to prepare." "It's accurate," Amanda assured her. "And I have something else to tell you. I'm not the only one the aliens contacted. There are 6 others, each with different knowledge." Dr. Wright sat back in her chair, taking off her glasses to rub her eyes. "I believed you about the asteroid because we could verify it," she said. "This is much bigger, much harder to prove." "I know," Amanda said, "but we have to try. Millions of lives depend on it." Over the next few months, Amanda and the other 6 women began their work carefully, each in their own field, each making small changes that would grow into something larger. Ella secured funding for new ocean research. Gloria developed crops that could withstand extreme weather. Kelly created more efficient solar panels. Michelle introduced new treatments at her hospital. Nancy revised emergency plans for coastal cities. Catherine helped coordinate their efforts, making sure they worked together effectively. And Amanda, using her position as a teacher, started an education program to help children understand the importance of protecting the planet. They faced skepticism and resistance. Many people refused to believe that the climate would change so dramatically, or that the sun was the cause. Some accused them of spreading fear. Others simply did not want to change the way they lived. But slowly evidence began to support their warnings. Unusual solar activity was detected just as the Lumina had predicted. Weather patterns began to shift. Ocean temperatures rose slightly. Sensitive instruments recorded changes that most people could not yet feel. More scientists joined their cause. Each new piece of evidence convinced more experts. Their movement grew from 7 women to dozens, then hundreds of researchers and planners working together. The communication technology from the Lumina allowed them to share information securely and coordinate their efforts globally. 1 year after meeting the other 6, Amanda stood at the front of a classroom. Not her usual 3rd grade class, but a university lecture hall filled with scientists and government officials from around the world. Dr. Wright had arranged the meeting after months of careful preparation. Amanda looked out at the audience, seeing doubt on many faces. She knew how they felt. She had felt the same way when the Lumina first contacted her, but now she had proof. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, "I know what I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but please reserve judgment until you've seen the evidence." She activated the silver disc and began to explain. By the end of her presentation, half the audience was convinced. The other half needed more proof, but they were willing to listen. That was enough. For now, the seeds had been planted. As Amanda left the building, Dr. Wright walked with her. "That went better than I expected," the scientist said. "Many of them are actually considering what you said. It will take time." Amanda replied, looking up at the sky. The sun was setting, painting the clouds in brilliant colors of red and gold. Somewhere up there, the Lumina were watching. 7 small satellites orbited silently overhead, ready to help when needed. And on Earth, 7 women worked to save their world, one small step at a time. That night, Amanda sat on her porch looking at the stars. She held the communication device the Lumina had given her, a small silver circle that fit in the palm of her hand. When she pressed the center, it glowed, softly connecting her to the other 6 women. Ella's voice came through clear as if she were sitting nearby. "The new coral growth methods are working," she reported. "The reefs are adapting faster than we hoped." Gloria joined the conversation. "My team has successfully grown the modified wheat in 3 different climate conditions. She said it produces 30% more grain than standard varieties and needs less water. Amanda stood before the council of alien women trying to look brave. The elder Elia studied her with those large black eyes that seemed to see right through her. "For thousands of years, we have watched your kind," Elia said. "You humans are young compared to us, but you learn quickly. We believe you are ready for this knowledge. What exactly do you want me to do?" Amanda asked. Elia gestured, and a glowing ball appeared in the air between them. It showed Earth with a fiery rock heading toward it. "The asteroid will strike in 28 of your days," Elia explained. "Unless it is diverted, it will cause great suffering. We can help, but we cannot interfere directly. This is the law of our people. We may only offer guidance. Why can't you just stop it yourselves?" Amanda asked. "If you have the technology," Vela, who stood beside Amanda, answered. "Every species must solve their own challenges. This is how they grow. We cannot solve problems for you, but we can share knowledge at critical moments. This is such a moment," Alia nodded. "Your scientists already have the means to deflect this asteroid," she said. "But they do not know it is coming. Their tracking systems have not detected it because it is coming from behind your sun. By the time they see it, it will be too late." The Council gave Amanda the silver disc and taught her how to use it. The disc contained star maps, calculations, and images that would prove what she was saying was true. It also held information about the Lumina, their history, and their observations. "Of Earth, we will return you to your home," Elia said. "You must find your scientists and show them this information. You have very little time." Nyla and Vela took Amanda to a small room with a platform in the center. "This is how we will send you back," Nyla explained. "You will appear exactly where we found you." Amanda clutched the silver disc, feeling its weight in her hands. "What if no one believes me?" she asked. "What if I can convince them?" Vela placed her long fingers gently on Amanda's shoulder. "We have studied your people for a very long time," she said. "We chose you because you have strength you do not yet know. The right people will listen." Before Amanda could say anything more, there was a flash of light, and she felt herself falling. Then, she was standing on her porch again. The night was quiet, as if nothing had happened. She looked up, but the sky was empty. Just stars and a half moon. No sign of the alien ship. Was it all a dream, she wondered? But the silver disc was still in her hands, glowing faintly with its own light. It was real. All of it. And now she had a mission. The next morning, Amanda called in sick to school and drove to the nearest university that had an astronomy department. She asked to speak with someone about asteroids and was directed to Dr. Susan Wright, an expert in near-Earth objects. Dr. Wright was a short woman with curly red hair and glasses. She looked tired, as if she had been working all night. When Amanda tried to explain about the aliens, Dr. Wright stopped her with a raised hand. "Mom, we get people with stories like this all the time," she said. "I'm very busy with actual research." Amanda took out the silver disc. "Please," she said. "Just look at this." When she activated the disc, as Nyla had taught her, a perfect three-dimensional model of the solar system appeared in the air. The sun, moon, planets, and thousands of asteroids all moving in their orbits. One red dot was highlighted, moving toward Earth. Dr. Wright stared open-mouthed. "What technology is this?" she whispered. Reaching out to touch the projection, her fingers passed through it. The disc showed close-up images of the asteroid tracking its path and showing the exact time and location of impact. It displayed numbers and calculations, in both alien symbols and English. "This is impossible," Dr. Wright said. "Where did you get this? The resolution is better than anything we have. And these calculations." She looked at Amanda with new interest. "Where did you really get this?" Amanda told her the truth about the Lumina and her time on their ship. Dr. Wright listened with growing amazement as the disc continued to display information that confirmed parts of Amanda's story. "Even if half of what you're saying is true, this is extraordinary," Dr. Wright said. "But the asteroid that we can check right now." She took Amanda to a room filled with computers and equipment. There they used the university's connection to telescope data from around the world, Using the coordinates from the disk, they searched the area of space where the asteroid should be. There, said Dr. Wright, pointing to a screen. Something is there, right where your disk said it would be. It's small from this distance, but it's definitely on a trajectory toward Earth. How could anyone know this? The object is still behind the sun from most Earth viewing angles. More scientists were called in. The disk was examined, the data verified. Over the next 2 days, Amanda spoke with astronomers, physicists, and finally government officials. She showed them all the disk and its projections. Each time the evidence convinced them. 6 days after returning to Earth, Amanda found herself in a high-security military facility. She watched on monitors as missiles were prepared to launch toward the asteroid. Following the luminous calculations exactly, they would nudge it just enough to miss Earth. Is it strange that I miss them? Amanda asked Dr. Wright, who had become her friend through this experience. The alien women, I was only with them for 2 days, but I feel connected to them. Somehow Dr. Wright smiled. You were chosen by beings from another world. She said that would create a bond. I think. She looked at the silver disk, which continued to function perfectly. You know, this device contains more than just asteroid data. There are star maps, communications technology, things we could study for years. Amanda nodded. I think that's why they left it with me, she said. Not just to convince you about the asteroid, but as a gift. A way to help humanity take the next step. The missile launch was successful. The world governments had agreed to keep the whole thing secret to prevent panic. Only a small group knew the truth about the asteroid or the aliens. Most people would never know how close they had come to disaster. 2 weeks later, the asteroid passed Earth at a safe distance, just as the Lumina had predicted. Scientists tracked it, watching as it continued its journey through the solar system. Amateur astronomers noticed it, but it was explained away as a routine near miss, one of many that happen every year. Amanda returned to her job teaching 3rd grade. Her life seemed normal on the surface, but everything had changed. She knew the truth that humans were not alone and that someone was watching over them. The silver disk remained with her, hidden in her home. She studied it, learning more about the Lumina's history and technology. Then one night, as she sat on her porch looking at the stars, Amanda felt a familiar tingling on her skin. The air hummed with energy, and a now familiar light appeared in the sky. Nyla and Vela had returned. Amanda smiled as the beam of light surrounded her. This time, she was not afraid as she rose toward the ship. She had questions for her alien friends, and she suspected they had more to tell her. The adventure was just beginning. When Amanda opened her eyes, she was back in the blue glowing room. Nyla and Vela stood waiting for her. You did well, Nyla said. Her mental voice felt warm, like greeting an old friend. The asteroid has been diverted. Your world is safe. Thank you for coming back, Amanda said. I have so many questions. Vela stepped forward. We have something important to show you, she said. Come with us, Lee. Led Amanda through the ship to a new area she hadn't seen before. Inside was what looked like a garden, but unlike any garden on Earth. Strange plants with glowing leaves and flowers that moved on their own filled the large space. In the center was a pool of silvery liquid. This is our life garden, Nyla explained, where we keep samples of all living things we have discovered. It helps us understand the connections between worlds. Amanda walked among the alien plants, amazed by their beauty and strangeness. Why show me this? She asked. Because we need your help again, Vela said. There is more danger coming to your world. Not an asteroid this time, but something more complex. A change in your sun's energy that will affect Earth's climate. Your people must prepare. Amanda stopped walking and turned to face the aliens. I can't keep doing this, she said. No one will believe me a second time. Even with the disk, it was hard to convince people. The government only acted because scientists verified everything. Nyla and Vela exchanged looks. Then Nyla spoke. We do not expect you to do this alone, she said. It is time to reveal the truth. There are others like you. Other humans we have contacted over the years. Each was chosen for a specific purpose. You were the first to complete your task successfully. Now you will meet the others. Others, Amanda repeated, feeling a mixture of relief and surprise. I'm not the only one. No, Vela said. There are 7 chosen ones, each with a different task to help Earth through the coming changes. It is time for you to meet them. Amanda followed the aliens through more corridors until they reached a large round room with 7 chairs arranged in a circle. 6 of the chairs were already filled with people who looked up when she entered. Their faces showed the same mixture of wonder and uncertainty that Amanda felt. Welcome to the Council of Earth, Nyla announced. You are the 7 who will help guide your world through the changes to come. The 7 women worked quickly to prepare for the solar flare. Nancy used her government connections to warn power companies to protect their equipment. Kelly shared her designs for shielding sensitive electronics. Michelle alerted hospitals to prepare for possible radiation effects. Each did what she could, but they knew it would not be enough. Most of the world remained unaware of what was coming. The solar flare hit Earth 3 days later, just as the Lumina had predicted. It was the largest ever recorded. The sky lit up with auroras visible even at the equator. Power grids failed across entire continents. Satellites were damaged. Communications systems went down. Millions of people were affected. Amanda watched the news reports from her home, where she had installed shielding technology based on Kelly's designs. Her power stayed on while her neighbors sat in darkness. She used her communication device to check on the others. They were all safe, but the situation around the world was growing worse. This is our chance, Catherine said when they connected that night. The world is looking for answers. Now they will listen. The 7 women activated their plan. Catherine spoke at the United Nations using her status as a respected educator to gain access. She presented evidence of the Lumina's warnings and predictions, showing how accurately they had forecast the solar flare. She explained that this was just the beginning of a cycle that would last for years. To her surprise, the representatives listened. The recent disaster had shaken their confidence. Many were desperate for solutions. Catherine introduced the other 6 women, each an expert in her field. The world leaders were skeptical. At first, the idea of alien contact seemed impossible, but the evidence was compelling. The predictions had been correct. The technology was beyond anything Earth had developed, and the solutions worked. Within months, an international effort began. Nations that had been enemies worked together, facing a common threat. The knowledge from the Lumina was shared freely. Ellis methods protected marine ecosystems. Gloria's modified crops fed people in areas where traditional agriculture was failing. Kelly's energy systems provided clean power to replace damaged grids. Michelle trained doctors around the world in new treatment methods. Nancy coordinated the largest disaster preparation effort in history. Amanda developed educational programs that were adopted in schools globally, and Catherine kept them all working together toward their common goal. 2 years passed. The changes continued. Solar activity remained unusual. Temperatures shifted. Weather patterns became more extreme. But humans were adapting. The warnings had given them time to prepare. The Lumina knowledge had given them tools, and the 7 women had given them leadership. Amanda continued teaching while also traveling to speak about the changes. She rarely mentioned the Lumina, focusing instead on the practical solutions. Most people still did not know about the aliens, and those who did often kept quiet, preferring to discuss the science rather than its source. Then one day, as Amanda was returning home from a conference, her communication device activated unexpectedly. All 7 devices connected at once. Something was happening. Amanda looked up at the night sky and saw it, a new light moving fast. No satellite or plane or meteor. It was a ship, and it was coming down. The Lumina are returning, Kelly said through the device. They never said they would come back. It may not be the Lumina, Nancy warned. Remember, Elia told us there are other species who travel between stars. Not all of them are friendly. The 7 women tracked the ship using their devices. It landed in a remote desert area far from major cities. They arranged to meet at the nearest airport, then traveled together to the landing site. What they found surprised them all. It was not a Lumina ship. This vessel was darker, sharper, more angular. 3. Beings emerged as the women approached. They walked on two legs like humans, but were clearly not human. Their skin was rough and gray, their bodies bulky and strong. Their eyes were small and yellow, set in broad faces. "We come seeking the ones who speak with the Lumina," one of the aliens said. Its voice was deep and rasping, unlike the mental voices of the Lumina. Amanda stepped forward cautiously. "The 7 of us have communicated with the Lumina," she said. "Who are you?" "We are the Drath," the alien replied. "We have been watching your world. We know the Lumina have given you knowledge and technology. This concerns us." "Why does it concern you?" Ella asked. "The Lumina are helping us survive changes in our sun." The Drath made a sound that might have been laughter. "The Lumina do not tell you everything," the alien said. "They have their own purposes. Their help always comes with a price." Catherine moved to stand beside Amanda. "What price?" she asked calmly. "We have worked with the Lumina for years. They have asked nothing of us." "Not yet," the Drath said, "but they will. The Lumina seek allies in their war against us. They prepare your species to join them. They have done this before, on many worlds." The 7 women exchanged glances Elia had never mentioned. A war or other aliens like the Drath. The Lumina had presented themselves as peaceful explorers and researchers. "Why should we believe you?" Michelle asked. "The Lumina have only helped us. Their predictions have been accurate. Their technology works." The Drath leader stepped closer, towering over the women. "The Lumina choose worlds with potential." He said. "They nurture them, guide them, make them dependent on Lumina knowledge. Then when the time is right, they reveal the war and demand your support. They have done this for thousands of years." "This is hard to believe," Nancy said. "The Lumina told us they were helping because they saw potential in humanity. They said we reminded them of themselves when they were young." Half-truth. The Drath said, "They see potential in you as warriors. The sun changes are real, but the Lumina could have prevented them. They allowed the changes to happen, so you would need their help. So you would trust them." Amanda felt cold despite the desert heat. Could this be true? Were the Lumina manipulating them? Had they been used all this time? "What proof do you have?" Gloria demanded. "We need more than just your claims." The Drath leader held out a device similar to the silver discs the Lumina had given them. "This will show you the truth," he said. For hours, the 7 women watched as the Drath device displayed images and information about the Lumina. They saw massive fleets of ships. They saw worlds transformed into military bases. They saw species that looked nothing like humans fighting battles across star systems. "If this is true," Kelly said when the presentation ended, "then everything we've done has been preparing Earth for war, not just survival. We need to speak with the Lumina." Amanda said, "We need to hear their side." The Drath looked at each other. "We can help you contact them," their leader said. "But be careful what you believe. The Lumina are skilled at deception." That night, the 7 women used both their own devices and the Drath technology to send a message to the Lumina satellites orbiting Earth. The response came quickly. A hologram of Elia appeared before them. "We have been monitoring the situation," she said. "We detected the Drath ship when it entered your system." "Is it true?" Amanda asked. "Are you preparing us for war? Do you have some hidden purpose for helping Earth?" Elia was silent for a moment. "The Drath have shared their perspective," she said finally. "Now I will share ours. There is indeed conflict between our species. It has existed for millennia. The Drath believe in conquest and control. We believe in cooperation and growth. And where does Earth fit in this conflict?" Catherine asked. "You are not the first world we have helped," Elia admitted. "When species reach a certain level of development, they must choose their path in the wider galaxy. Some join with us, some remain neutral, some side with the Drath. But we never force that choice. We only prepare worlds to survive so they can make their own decisions." The 7 women listened as Elia explained the history between the Lumina and the Drath. It was complex, spanning thousands of years and hundreds of worlds. The truth seemed to lie somewhere between the two stories. Neither side was completely innocent, neither was completely wrong. We need time to think about this, Nancy said when Elia finished. We need to discuss it among ourselves. Of course, Elia replied. This is precisely why we chose 7 of you, to consider different perspectives, to make balanced decisions. We will await your response. The hologram faded, leaving the women alone with the Drath, who had remained silent during the exchange. The Lumina speak well, the Drath leader said, but consider why they chose only females from your species. They know female humans tend to prefer cooperation over conflict. They sought to influence your decision. With that, the Drath returned to their ship, saying they too would wait for the humans to decide. For 3 days, the 7 women debated. What should they tell humanity? Who should they trust? What path should Earth take? Some argued for continuing to work with the Lumina. Others wanted to learn more from the Drath. Some suggested maintaining distance from both alien species. All had valid points. All cared deeply about Earth's future. In the end, they reached a decision that all could support. They would continue using the knowledge they had gained to help Earth adapt to the solar changes. But they would not commit to alliance with either alien species. They would encourage humanity to develop its own path. They sent their answer to both the Lumina and the Drath. We choose our own destiny. They said we are grateful for the help we have received, but Earth must remain independent. We will use what we have learned to ensure our survival, but we will not take sides in your conflict.